Barack Obama, born August 4th, 1961 at 1924, Honolulu, Hawaii. If we were to look at the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the sign, the 10th sign of Capricorn rising in the first house at 24 degrees and 43 minutes. This rising sign degree is unique to Barack Obama and becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet that's within 5 degrees, say 19 to 29 degrees, would have a great deal of impact in his life. So you've got just Mars barely, Sun barely. Those are the main ones. So just to do a quick overview of his chart, what he's working on in his lifetime, wherever you find a multiconal sign, which are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11, whatever house they are in, that becomes one of the things he's working on in this lifetime. So you see that the 11th sign of Aquarius is in the second house, so fame and recognition, continuation of the marital bond are something that he's working on. You see the first sign of Aries, ruled by Mars, in the house of family and happiness, so he's working on that. You see the fourth sign of Cancer in the sign of relationships and partnerships, ruled by Moon, so he's working on relationships and partnerships. And then you see the fifth sign of Leo in the sign in the house, 8th house, which has to do with transformations, vulnerability, and also research into spiritual growth. You see the 6th sign of Virgo in the house of good fortune and teaching. You see the 7th sign of Libra, ruled by Venus, in the house of career. Career is a big focus for him. And then you see the 9th sign of Sagittarius in the 12th house of, yeah, that's not actually so he's working on, again, spiritual growth through letting go of attachments. So let's see how the planets are operating. Now, Capricorn is an earth sign. It's a movable sign. These people are very determined to, very practical. So we want to see how the planets are operating, and then we'll look at when the planets are operating. So Sun is at 19 degrees. We said it becomes, it's close to the most effective point, just barely. And it rules this house of obstacles, and it is in the house of relationships. So Sun represents father, and also relationships. So it becomes, because it's a functional malefic, any multiconal sign that's found in the 6th, 8th, or the 12th house becomes a functional malefic. So you see in the 8th house of obstacles, you have the 5th sign of Leo, ruled by Sun. So Sun becomes functional malefic. Then you see in the 12th house, you have Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, becomes functional malefic for Capricorns, as well as Rahu and Ketu. So Sun is functional malefic. It is in the house of relationships, ruling this house of death-like experiences. So his father left at an early age, no support from the father, and also mother died at an early age. Divorce, end of the relationship. And Sun has to do with politics. So Moon is at 10 degrees, and it's actually exalted. And it it is actually if you looked at when he was born, he was in a moon period. Moon, therefore, for him, whatever dasha period you are in when you're born becomes the root of the tree of life. So working with the public, compassion for others became a very important part of what he was to become. And it rules this house of partnerships, and it's in the house of children. Gave him two beautiful girls. Moon is feminine, so probably not much ability to have male children. Gave him an ability to emotionally connect with other people. Mars is at 29 degrees, so any planet that's more than 25 or less than 5 becomes weak, and it is in the house of obstacles, and it's ruling the house of family. So again, some issues with the continuation of his birth parents, his family was affected by that divorce of his parents. Father killed, mother died from cancer. All of those things could be connected. Mercury at 9 degrees is ruling the house of good fortune, and it's in the house of partnerships. So give him good fortune through partnerships with his wife and lots of other people during his life, and gave him great communication abilities. Good fortune through communication, through speech. Very, very eloquent speaker. Good communicator. And writing and publishing. He wrote books as well. So Jupiter is debilitated. It's a functional malefic. And it's in this houses of losses, expenses, and spiritual growth. I gave him law degree and interest in religion and good fortune. It's in this house of life purpose. So it gave life purpose through law, legal, through family. But because it is debilitated and functional malefic, it would limit the number of children. And in older age, he should pay attention to his liver, gallbladder, and hips could be affected. And it afflicts, 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It afflicts Mercury, and 8, 9. So yeah, so it afflicts Mercury. So some issue there. Now Venus rules career. It's ruling this 10th house of career, and it's in the house of legal issues, health issues, conflicts. His speech is certainly controversial among some people, and so I think this helped him get a law degree. Finances also related to this house. And it is, Saturn is at 2 degrees, very, very weak. Rules this house of recognition, wealth, and continuation of the family life. So probably also had something to do with parents' divorce. But it gave life purpose. It's in the house of life purpose. And Saturn has to do with not only addiction, I said, has addicted to cigarettes for most of his life, but also gave him ability to be of service to others. So life purpose through service. Rahu is at 3 degrees, and it's in this house of research, spiritual research. Part of its youth was learning about religion and delving into spiritual issues, constitutional law, research into that. K2 is in this house of wealth and recognition. I think it gave, fame through his spiritual nature. Now let's just look at some of the event of him winning the election. If you look at the first election, he was in a Moon Saturn period. And so, Moon is public, Saturn is service. And so that contributed to winning the election. So what could we do to further remedy his chart, support his, lessen his addiction to smoking and improve his abilities? So a kavash to strengthen the weak Saturn would be helpful, and strengthen his Mercury, strengthen his Moon, ability to work with public, ability to communicate, strengthen his. He has a beautiful, very powerful wife, also in the legal profession. Strengthen his wife. So those kavash would be doing those things. Now we want to transform Sun, because it's functional malefic, and that would have probably helped with his parents and leadership abilities by listening to Vishnu chants on Wednesdays and helping men. And then we want to transform Jupiter. By we don't strengthen the functional malefic planets. We transform them. So Jupiter can be transformed by helping spiritual organizations, listening to Ganesh chants on Thursdays, as well as also helping spiritual organizations to transform K2 and listening to the Ganesh chants on Thursdays, and Rahu helping those who cannot help themselves, and listening to Shiva chants on Mondays. So those are the main points for the chart for Barack Obama.